Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Easy English Podcast. I am Hannah, and as always, I am here with my wonderful co-host, Alex. How are you today, Alex?
Hey, Hannah, I am doing great, thank you, and a big warm welcome to all of our listeners around the world. I am really excited about today's topic because it is something almost every English learner asks about at some point.
Oh, absolutely. Today we are talking about two small words that cause big headaches, for and since. I remember when I was learning, I used to mix them up all the time. I would say things like, I have lived here since 5 years. And my teachers would look at me so confused.
That is actually the most common mistake, Hannah, since 5 years sounds very natural in some other languages, but in English, it just does not work. Today, we are going to make sure everyone listening understands the difference so clearly that they will never have to hesitate again.
That is the goal. So, Alex, let us start with the absolute basics. What is the main difference between for and since?
It all comes down to how we look at time. We use for when we talk about a duration of time. A duration means a period of time, like a block of hours, days, or years. It answers the question, how long?
Okay, so for is for a total amount of time, like a number of minutes or years. Can you give us an example?
Exactly. For example, I have been waiting for 20 minutes, or we lived in London for 3 years. In both cases, 20 minutes and 3 years are periods of time. They have a beginning and an end.
Ah, I see. A block of time. 20 minutes is a block. 3 years is a block. What about since then?
We use since when we look back to a specific starting point in the past. It tells us when the action began. It does not look at the whole block of time, just the starting.
The starting line. I love that picture. So instead of the whole block, since points its finger at the exact moment the clock started ticking.
Precisely. For example, I have been here since 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock is the starting point. Or, she has been working here since Monday. Monday is the starting line.
That makes so much sense. Let me try one. If I say, I have been a teacher since 10 years, is that correct?
Let us look at that. 10 years is a number of years. Is that a specific starting point on a calendar, or is it a block of time?
Well, 10 years is a whole block of time. It is a long duration.
Right. So because it is a block of time, we must use for. You should say, I have been a teacher for 10 years.
Got it. For 10 years. But what if I want to use since to say the same thing? How would I change the sentence?
To use since, you need the specific year you started. So if today is 2023 and you have been a teacher for 10 years, you started in 2013. You would say, I have been a teacher since 2013.
Oh, that is a perfect contrast. For 10 years is the duration. Since 2013 is the starting point. They mean the exact same thing, but they use different words depending on how we describe the time.
You nailed it, Hannah. It is just two different ways of looking at the same timeline. Let us try another one. If I say, I have been drinking coffee morning, what goes in the blank?
Morning is not a number. It is a specific time of day when I started drinking coffee. So it must be since. I have been drinking coffee since morning.
Perfect, since morning is correct. Now, what if I say, I have been drinking coffee 4 hours?
Now we have 4 hours. That is a number, a duration, a block of time. So I have been drinking coffee for 4 hours.
Exactly. You're doing great. And by the way, 4 hours is a lot of coffee, honey.
Yes, maybe too much caffeine for one day, but it is a great example. So a simple trick for our listeners could be if you see a number like 3, 5, 10, 50, followed by a time word like minutes, hours, days, or years, you probably need for.
Yes, that is a fantastic general rule. If you have a number plus a time unit, use for. For example, for 6 days, for 2 months, for 5 minutes. But we have to be careful because there are some words that act like numbers or periods of time, even if they do not look like them at first.
By the way, if you are enjoying this episode and finding it useful, taking a second to subscribe or leave a like really helps us reach more learners around the world who want to improve.
It really does. And if you have a question, just leave a comment. We read and answer them all. Anyway, back to the grammar. What about the present perfect?
Ooh, a twist. Tell us more. What kind of words?
Think of words like a long time or ages. Like, we haven't seen each other ages. What do you think fits there?
Well, ages means a very long period of time. It is not a specific date on a calendar, so it must be for ages.
Spot on. For ages and for a long time are very common English phrases. Even though they do not have digits like 5 or 10, they still represent a length of time, a duration.
That makes so much sense. But Alex, I have a confession. Before I really understood this rule, I used to make a classic mistake. I would say things like, I have lived here since 5 years. And to be honest, I hear so many of our listeners make this exact same mistake.
Oh, absolutely. That is probably the number one mistake with these two words, since 5 years is something I hear almost every single week. And you know why people say it?
Why is that? Is it because of their native languages?
Exactly. In many languages like German, French, Spanish, and Portuguese, they use the same word for both ideas. They use one word to talk about the starting point and the duration. So when they translate directly in their heads to English, they choose since because it feels right to them. They think, I started living here 5 years ago, so since 5 years.
Ah, the translation trap. It sounds so logical in your head when you translate word for word, but in English, it just sounds incorrect to a native speaker. So if we want to fix that, how should we actually say it? If I want to talk about that 5-year period, what do I say?
You should say, I have lived here for 5 years. Remember, 5 years is a total block of time. It is a duration. So we must use for.
Okay, for 5 years. Got it. But what if I really, really want to use the word since in that sentence? How would I change the ending to make it correct?
I love that question. If you want to use since, you have to find the starting point. You have to do a little bit of math in your head. So if it is currently the year 2024 and you have lived here for 5 years, when did you start?
Let me calculate. 2024 minus 5 years, that would be 2019.
Exactly. 2019 is a specific year, a specific starting point on the calendar. So you can say, I have lived here since 2019.
Oh, that is a beautiful way to see the difference. Let me say them both so I can feel it. I have lived here for 5 years, and I have lived here since 2019. Both sentences mean the exact same thing, but they use different starting points and durations.
Yes, you nailed it. It is just two different ways of looking at the same timeline. One looks at the whole road, and the other looks at the starting line.
Okay, so how do we train our brains to stop translating and making that since 5 years mistake? Do you have a trick or an exercise we can do?
I do. It is all about creating strong mental pairs. Instead of trying to remember the grammar rule every time you speak, try to memorize a few standard blocks of words. For example, think of for as a partner with numbers. Say to yourself, for 10 minutes, for 3 days, for 5 years. Make it a rhythm in your head.
Oh, like a song or a chant. For 10 minutes, for 3 days, for 5 years. I like that. It sounds natural when you say it together like a single block of vocabulary.
Exactly. And then do the same thing for since. Partner since with specific non-number words like since morning, since Monday, since last year. If you practice saying those short blocks together, your brain will start to reject the incorrect combinations. If you try to say since 5 years, it will start to sound weird to your own ears.
That is so true. Training your ears is sometimes much better than memorizing grammar rules from a book. Let's test this right now. I will give you a sentence with a blank space, and you tell me which one fits. Listeners, you can play along at home or while you're walking.
I am ready. Bring it on, Hannah.
Okay, first one. I have been waiting for the bus 20 minutes.
20 minutes is a duration. It has a number and a time unit. So it must be for 20 minutes. I have been waiting for the bus for 20 minutes.
Perfect. Now, what if I change it to, I have been waiting for the bus 2 o'clock?
Ooh, 2 o'clock. Now that is a tricky one because it has a number 2 in it. But wait, is 2 o'clock a length of time? Can I wait 2 o'clock? No, 2 o'clock is a specific point on the clock. It is the start time. So it has to be since 2 o'clock. I have been waiting for the bus since 2 o'clock.
Wow, that is a really important distinction. 2 hours is a duration, so we use for. But 2 o'clock is a point on the clock, so we use since. That is a great trap to watch out for.
It really is. Many people see the number 2 and immediately think 4. But you have to ask yourself, is this a length of time or is it a specific moment? Another good trick is to ask, can I count this? Can I count 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clocks as a duration? No, that doesn't make sense. But you can count 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours.
That makes so much sense when you explain it that way. So if I can count the units of time, I use for. If it is a point in time, I use since. Let me try to create a scenario. Imagine I moved to this beautiful city of ours. If I arrived here in the year 2020, how would I say that using these 2 words?
That is a perfect real-life example, Hannah. If you arrived in 2020, that year is a specific point in time, right? It is on the calendar. So you would say, I have lived here since 2020. But now let's do some quick math. If we are in the year 2024, how many years has it been?
That is easy. From 2020 to 2024 is 4 years. So 4 years is a duration, a length of time. That means I should say, I have lived here for 4 years. Did I get that right?
Spot on. You nailed it. I have lived here since 2020, and I have lived here for 4 years mean the exact same thing in this context. The only difference is how you choose to express the time. Do you want to focus on the starting year, or do you want to focus on the total amount of time that has passed?
It's like looking at the same coin from 2 different sides. One side is the start line, and the other side is the distance we ran. But wait, Alex, I have a question about another common mistake. What about words like yesterday, last week, or last month? They do not have numbers in them. How do we choose?
This is a wonderful question, and it actually trips up a lot of intermediate learners too. Let's look at yesterday. Is yesterday a duration of time, or is it a specific point in the past? Think about it. When did you start doing the action?
Well, if I started working on a project yesterday is the starting point. I cannot say I worked for yesterday because yesterday is not a length of time, like 10 hours. So I should say I have been working on this project since yesterday. Is that correct?
Exactly. Since yesterday is correct. And the same rule applies to last week, last month, or last year. They are all specific starting points in the past. So you would say, I have been on a diet since last week, or he has been looking for a job since last month.
Ah, okay. But what if I want to use for with the word week or month? I guess I have to add a number or use a plural form, right? Like, I have been on a diet for 1 week, or he has been looking for a job for months.
Yes, absolutely. For months is a great example.
Even though there is no specific number, like 3 or 4, the word months in plural shows a general duration. It means a long, countable period of time. So for months is completely correct and very natural in daily English.
That is so good to know. I often hear people say things like since a long time, and it always sounds a bit strange to me. Is that a mistake? Should it be for a long time instead?
You have a great year for English, Hannah. Yes, since a long time is a very common mistake. A long time is a duration. It is an unspecified length of time, but it is still a period of time, not a starting point. So we must always say for a long time.
So I should say, we have been friends for a long time. That sounds much more natural. But what if I want to say the same thing using since? How can I change the sentence to make since work?
To use since, you need a starting point. When did the friendship start? Maybe in high school or maybe when you were children. So you could say, we have been friends since high school, or we have been friends since we were kids. Do you see how those are specific moments in your life?
Oh, I love that. Since we were kids is actually a whole clause with a subject and a verb. So we can use since with a past event, not just a date or a time.
Yes, you can. This is a very common structure. Since can be followed by a specific time, a noun phrase like high school, or a whole clause in the past simple tense, like since we met, or since I started my new job.
Let me practice this with a sentence of my own. I have been studying English since I was 12 years old. Here, I was 12 years old is a specific time in my past. And if I want to use for, I could count the years from then until now and say, I have been studying English for 10 years.
That is a perfect demonstration, Hannah. Both of those sentences are grammatically beautiful and sound incredibly natural. You are really mastering this concept today.
Thanks to your simple explanations, Alex. But you know what? I think our listeners would love a quick, fun game to test their understanding. Let's do a fast-paced challenge. You say a time phrase, and I will quickly say for or since. And then we can ask our listeners to play along in their heads.
I love game shows. Let's do it. Listeners, get ready to shout out the answer or think of it quickly before Hannah speaks. Ready, Hannah? First one, 3 days.
For, because 3 days is a duration.
Correct. Next one, Monday.
Since, Monday is a specific day of the week, the starting point.
Right again. How about 10 minutes?
For, that is a countable duration.
Perfect. Let's make it a bit harder. I graduated from college.
Oh, that is an action in the past simple. It is a starting point. So since, like, I have been looking for a job since I graduated from college.
Brilliant. You are on fire. What about ages?
Ages is like a long time. It means a very long period. So it must be for. I haven't seen you for ages.
Exactly. For ages is an incredibly common idiom in conversational English. We use it all the time when we meet a friend we haven't seen in a while.
It really is. I say for ages all the time now. But you know, Alex, even though I understand the rules when we talk about them slowly like this, my brain still gets a bit confused when I have to speak quickly. I think many of our listeners feel the exact same way. Is there a quick trick or a mental picture we can use?
That is completely normal, Hannah. When you're speaking, you don't have time to think about grammar rules. Here is a very simple mental picture that helps me. Think of for as a ruler. You use a ruler to measure a physical distance, right? Like 10 centimeters, 5 inches, or a long distance. For measures the length of time. It tells us how long.
A ruler. I like that. So for 3 hours is like measuring a line that is 3 hours long. What about since then? What is the picture for since?
For since, think of a calendar with a big red circle around one specific day, or a clock with the hands pointing to a specific hour, like 3 o'clock. It is a single frozen point in time. You do not measure the whole line, you just point to the spot where the line started. You point your finger at the calendar and say, it started right there.
That makes so much sense. 4 is the ruler measuring the whole line, and since is the finger pointing to the start. Let me try to use this. If I want to say I started living in this apartment in 2020, 2020 is a specific spot on the calendar. So I point my finger. I have lived here since 2020.
Spot on. And if you want to use the ruler to measure the time from 2020 until now, which is 4 years,
Then I use the ruler to measure the whole 4 years. I have lived here for 4 years. Wow, that really works.
it really does. Now, to make sure this really sticks on our minds, let's play a quick interactive game. I call this the life quiz. I am going to tell you a short story about a character, and you have to choose whether for or since fits best in the sentence. Listeners, you can play along at home or while you are walking. Try to answer before Hannah does.
Oh, I love quizzes. I am ready. Bring it on, Alex.
Okay, here is our character. Her name is Sarah. Sarah started learning to play the guitar when she was 12 years old. She is now 25 years old, so she has played the guitar 13 years. Hannah, what do we use here?
Okay, 13 years is a length of time. I am measuring the total time with my ruler, so it must be Sarah has played the guitar for 13 years.
Perfect. Now, let's look at the same story, but with a different ending to the sentence. Sarah has played the guitar. She was 12 years old. What do you think?
Ah, she was 12 years old is a specific point in her life. It is like pointing to a specific year on her life calendar. So we use since. Sarah has played the guitar since she was 12 years old.
Outstanding. You got both of them right. Let's try another one. This is about a man named David. David went to sleep at 11 o'clock last night. He woke up at 7 o'clock this morning. That means he slept 8 hours. What is the correct word?
8 hours is the total duration of his sleep. That is definitely the ruler. So David slept for 8 hours.
Exactly. But wait, what if we use the present perfect? David has been awake 7 o'clock this morning.
Oh, 7 o'clock is a specific time on the clock face. My finger is pointing directly at the number 7. So David has been awake since 7 o'clock this morning.
You are absolutely nailing this, Hannah. I hope our listeners are getting these right too. Let's do one more that is a little bit tricky. This is about a heavy rainstorm. It started raining on Monday. Today is Thursday, and it is still raining. So it has been raining Monday.
Monday is a specific day of the week. It is a starting point on the calendar. So it has been raining since Monday.
Correct. Now, how about this one? It has been raining 4 days.
4 days is the total number of days. I am measuring the length of the rainy period. So it has been raining for 4 days. This is actually becoming really fun and easy when you think about the ruler and the calendar point.
I am so happy to hear that. That is the secret to mastering English grammar. It is not about memorizing boring rules from a textbook. It is about finding simple, visual ways to connect with the language so it becomes automatic.
It really is. Well, we have covered so much today, Alex. We talked about how 4 is for a duration of time, like 3 hours, 10 years, or ages. And we learned that since is for a specific starting point in the past, like 9 o'clock, Monday, 2015, or even a whole event, like since I was a child.
Yes, we did a fantastic job today. And to everyone listening out there, thank you so much for spending your time with us today. Keep practicing your for and since in your daily life. Try to make your own sentences while you're doing chores or driving. It really helps. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Easy English Podcast.
Have a wonderful day, keep learning, and we will see you in the next episode.